The first step of creating a page template is beginning to reorganize our project. From our previous project, one of the things we created is an entire directory structure. We did that in anticipation for this phase, in terms of sort of adding where our CSS would go, where our fonts would go, where our images would go. We've already started to see it in this example. So really the next step is beginning to change things from the style guide, which we saw and really enjoyed, now to an actual series of pages. The first thing we're going to do is really begin to sort of address the number of pages that we're going to have. In a typical project, one of the things that you're going to want to do is take a look at the sitemap of what we're working on and begin to start creating pages and identifying which are variant A, B, and C, and begin to build them here. Our first variant will be our index. We might duplicate it and say there is page template 1, page template 2, page template 3. So our really goal is begin to define the number and type of pages that we have. This is really critical. In the process, we're going to start with our index. We're going to lay out some of the basic frames, and then we're going to start to take variants of that page and begin to tweak it. In a typical page, you might have a home page that might be one version of a page template, a second level page, and a third level page. And we're going to play with that idea in this chapter. Really, our end goal of this setting up the page template is to start with our first series of pages and then start working with the CSS to match. We're going to keep our reset CSS because that hasn't changed. And what we're going to do is begin to open up our main.css. Let's start with it nice and clean from the series chapters. And we might actually even use a lot of what we had before. Some of them we were playing with, some of them we're experimenting with. Again, we're going to take our style guide CSS and start using this to actually create the real page template. So a lot of that is going to come along. So we don't have to go through the process of, oh, what do those fonts look like? We should have all of this established already. If you remember from our previous style guide, we had already a language that we had set up. We had set up what a page header looks like. We had set up that we wanted a line at the top of the page, what's headers, what actually a paragraph. I actually added some paragraph text here to see what it looks like. And of course we notice that it scales, but it's not really what the page is going to be like. We're really just establishing what a paragraph will look like, what links will look like. So we want to make sure that we're not really designing as we're going along. The focus of the page template is focusing on what the layout of the page looks like. And that's what we're going to talk about next.